everyone, and welcome back to our DSS break. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're here live every Thursday to talk about data science experiences and best practices with leading data professionals in a 15-minute break. I'm Anna Anderson, CEO and founder at Formulated By, home of the Data Science Salon, and I'm streaming right here in the heart of the design district from our Formulated By and Data Science Salon office here in Miami. And also with me today, also local, Lucho Escobedo. He's a senior director of data science at REEF. And I'm really excited to talk to him because I got to meet him last week and really enjoyed the conversation that you had last week and also your session too. So it's really nice to have you. If you guys don't know about REEF, REEF is a company that transforms static parking facilities into thriving mobility and logistic hubs. And Lucho is an experienced data scientist, and together with his team, he has developed a complex MLOps platform for the company from scratch, which is a huge undertaking. So I'm really excited to talk to you about that. And I know that you had a presentation last week as well. So if you guys missed that, we'll share a link where you could see that because it's still available on demand. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here today. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. This was last week was a great experience. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are today at REEF. I know you've been involved with different companies in the past. So
yeah. So as you mentioned before, I'm currently serving as a senior director of data science at REEF. The goal of my team is to create long-lasting and defendable capabilities to support our strategies, product strategies, growth strategies, and so on, right? And prior to that experience, I worked at Quantum Black, which is the data science AI arm from McKinsey & Company. My base was in Sao Paulo, in Brazil, and I had clients all over the Americas. So.
Cool. No, that's really, really, really interesting. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about MLOps and, how you really kind of dove into that, probably before even it became a topic of conversation, right? Because I feel like it just kind of appeared in the last 18 months.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. So MLOps is definitely a young field. There's this scary statistic, right? I'm pretty sure you heard about this. Only about 10% of all machine learning models are in production.
I even heard lower stats.
Yeah, yeah. So and I'm actually not sure how this is even measured, but the fact that statistic resonated in our field tell us that productizing and operating machine learning models is difficult, right? So today, machine learnings are not just models, right? Are systems, and these systems are expected to continuously generate value and operate in production, right? So productizing is key here. So by that I mean exposing the model for real use, right? for consumers, for consumption, either internal or external. So and machine learning, the model on itself is just a small piece, a small portion of a complex system, right? There are a number of steps and processes to consider in order to productionize a machine learning model. And for instance, it encompasses automation, data collection, data verification, testing, debugging, and whatnot, right? And serving and monitoring the model, right? To understand those changes in time. And all these processes, it seems like they appear recently, but they are not young, right? So there's a 2014 white paper from Google called something like machine learning, the highest interest credit card in technical debt, or something like that. Mm-hmm. So again, this was in 2014. There was a presentation on REEF. Then the field started to blossom, right? And I'm sure there's the issues explained in that paper and that presentation are not the only ones, as machine learning evolves in time and systems become more complex, right? But to answer your question about MLOps in general, so it's just it started as a best practice field for best engineering practice, right? Sort of thing, and then it has slowly evolved into a more independent field to manage the machine learning lifecycle, like from data collection to production and monitoring the models. Right.
Yeah, no, I definitely no, I know because like we see so many new tools popping up that are focused on the MLOps, you know,
Absolutely.
specifically MLOps. So I think maybe you could tell. I know that you took the huge undertaking of building your own platform at REEF. So maybe we could talk a little bit about why you decided to build versus buy, because as I meant, like, as you know, there's so many platforms from like
Yeah.
Databricks to like little guys, you know, there's a ton of them out there. So I'm just wondering why you made that decision, and if you have like an end-to-end platform or it's like a partial piece of the MLOps life cycle,
Yeah.
because I know it's like a pretty long life cycle for that.
Yeah. So it is. So yeah, what you say definitely reflects reality. So, but we didn't do it from the scratch with our own, right? So there are certainly products out there, but
Yeah.
the journey that we took is was sorry. So there, it is very easy to focus on the tools first, right? But what we did was focus on the capabilities that we wanted to build, and
Yep.
that partially answers your question, right? So the build versus buy is, do you have a strong team? Do you want to build those capabilities? Do you want that team grows with your capabilities, right? So that's mainly why we decided to do it ourselves, of course with the support of consultants, and we did our job, right? We did our due diligence in understanding first internally what we want to build and why, and what use cases it will this platform will support. And then once we know that and we define that this is feasible, then we go to the market and determine which tool is the best. And what we have is a combination of open source and paid software, right? And we like to think that we pick the best for our use cases, right? And the best part is that when we build using these different tools, we build it with the thinking forward that this platform will be extensible, right? So for instance, those capabilities that I mentioned, right? So the data scientists in my team were working in their laptops, right? And so we create remote stations for the development and debugging in a reproducible and scalable environment, right? So for that reason, we use Linux-based EC2 instances. Another capability was to be able to automate our pipelines to reduce errors in training and scoring, right? So before that, we orchestrated and automated our own. So the data scientist was the orchestrator and the automator. So that capability we wanted to build, and so we incorporated and we created Git repositories, templates, and builds configurations for training and scoring our models with CI/CD, with Jenkins, which is the classic one. And then we wanted also to be able to track and register our own experiments. So by experience, I mean the machine learning models, right? The training part. So we brought in Apache Airflow. So implemented that to orchestrate those, training and inference pipelines. And then finally, to provide the scalability for our models, right? We need processes, and we need flexible processes. We needed to be able to scale, right? So having small instances of computing power for small jobs and larger for large jobs, right? So we licensed SageMaker.
Yep. So yeah. So how do you like that one? Because I know I hear like mixed things about the
No,
SageMaker. I guess you get the whole AWS access with that, right?
yes, we are we are an EKS cluster. So the platform's core is an EKS cluster on top of AWS. SageMaker is working well right now, and as I mentioned before, so the idea is that this platform evolves as with the team, right? With the capabilities of the team. The more use cases we have, the more and that will stress test the platform, right? So as we grow, my expectation is that we will optimize the platform to support those use cases.
Cool. No, that's awesome. And I think you definitely answered a lot from the next question about like what can everybody look for. But I guess what are some like down, I guess maybe you could talk a little bit about what not to do when you are thinking about implementing an MLOps solution. Kind of
Yeah,
what could go wrong, right? Because I'm sure like things could go wrong as well.
yeah, absolutely. So I think that the first thing that can go wrong if you don't align this with leadership, right?
Right.
So support needs to come top down. At least that's the experience that I have. You need to have the buy-in for multiple stakeholders, and you need to provide the right impact, the impact that your platform will provide. So without alignment, I don't think this won't happen. And alignment and support, of course. The second thing is to not being able to understand what your capacity right now is, right? So how sophisticated your teams are, both engineering, DevOps, and data science, right? So and out there are products for everyone, right? There's one single platform, like Databricks, even AWS or Azure, they have their own single platform. And if you have a team that is sophisticated enough, and both in the data science team or in the DevOps team or engineering in general, then I think you can be a little bit more flexible. So and then the third thing, and they are not in order, is which if you don't have business cases or an idea of how to provide value with the technology you want to bring, it's a no-go, right? If you don't have a clear mind on what's going to happen next, then it doesn't matter what you have in the background. So first is, as I mentioned, alignment, buy-in from the leadership, and then the understanding of the capacity of your team, right?
No, that's really great. Thank you for sharing that. And I think at REEF, for you guys, like I feel like the business depends on machine learning, right? So I think it's very important. So probably there's more buy-in, right, at a company like that versus like an old school company.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, I think that's great. And my last question for you is about folks that are really like want to get into the MLOps field. What kind of profiles are you looking for to specifically manage the operation side of machine learning?
I see. I would say that when you have a team that that want to develop machine learning operations, that means that you have use cases that are supported by machine learning, right? So, and in my point of view, the best way that a professional in the field may benefit from an environment like that is with a matrix organization. So my expectation won't be to bring a full stack data scientist or full stack machine learning engineer, right? I know that we are kind of going towards that direction, but right now I can see the benefits of being in a matrix organization in REEF. Like we have our data science team, we have our engineers, and we have our DevOps people, right? Our DevOps engineer, and we all in combination we work very well together, right? It's in general, if you have that synchrony, I think it's going to be a good thing. On a more technical side, from the data science point of view, at least, when we see senior roles, right, we look for of course the background of data science and understanding models, algorithms, and stats, and a little bit of analytics as well. But in particular, the experience should be biased towards if they have experience in putting models into production, right? The most value that a company can have from a data science team is based on how continuously provides value through their work, through the data science models, through the machine learning models. And if you have an automated way of providing that, then I think it's a good thing. And that experience is certainly very well appreciated now in the market, right? So that's on the kind of on the hard skills. On the soft skills, of course, collaboration, right? We would like to see people that are open to collaborate. They are that can work with different professions, that understand a little bit of what the DevOps person do, what a data engineering do, and the difference between data scientists and machine learning engineers. So a person who's particularly that fits particularly well between in the middle of those, and can collaborate with each other. So
sounds like a unicorn to me.
Yeah, and there are a lot of very good data scientists out there, and again, from my point, this is a personal point of view. So the way that in my experience, the way that we hire data scientists, or the way that we start working with data science, because sometimes they appear in your organization organically, right? Is through passion and values, right? So the quality and the quantity of experience makes sense and makes a difference. But one of them, and this is something that I really like in REEF, it's we have a number of values. We have 5 values, but 2 of them are the reflection of a data scientist, right? So the first one is be curious, right? And the second one is show grit. So in my opinion, if data scientists should be curious, it should show grit, right? Being able to absorb and learn quickly in this environment, right? And again, in a matrix organization, when you have an engineering team, a DevOps team, and learn things by doing, and be relentless and persistent and show commitment on your work, I think that's a win-win.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you can apply that to other teams as well, right? Not just
Yeah.
the data science one. So I think that's
Exactly.
great. It was really great to chat with you, and really enjoyed this conversation and really enjoyed your presentation last week. So if you guys want to check that out, we're going to share the link so you could see it on demand for another week. So again, thanks again for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of the week. And thanks again for being here, Luco.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, bye.
Bye.